Hello, welcome to the Elevate Your Wellbeing podcast. I am going to dive right in. I'm going to be mixing it up a little bit because I'm just feeling a little bit feisty or a little bit spicy with how I'm running these podcast episodes. So I'd love to hear from you, whether you're completely new. Thank you very much for tuning in and welcome to the podcast. But if you've been a regular for the last 44 episodes. This is episode 45, which is incredible. I'd love to hear from you if you prefer the changes or if you like what I was including. So listen to this episode to see if you notice what the changes, and let's dive in. So just make sure that if you're at home, if somewhere comfy, you've got some water with you, you're getting some natural light, because we're going to be diving into my top 5 sleep hacks. So make sure you're staying hydrated is key. Just take a sip of water whilst I'm saying that to you. Make sure you're getting daylight is key. But that is all part and parcel of one of my top 5 hacks. So we're going to dive in. So I really wanted to go into this a little bit more because I'm actually sitting here. It's been about a month since I've recorded any podcast episodes because I love to work with batching. What that means is, if you've never heard that before, is that you work on one thing multiple times. So rather than recording one podcast episode and then editing it and doing all the things that are necessarily related to that, I actually sit down and record, say, 4 podcast episodes, and then I can edit all of them in one go, and I can do the graphics all in one go. So it keeps me focused, and this is something that's really, really, really important that can really help you if you have some resistance with batching. Then do look into it, and this is something that I've gone into with people that I've coached, because it is really interesting as to why we bump up against resistance with certain things such as batching. And like with anything, some things work, some things don't. So I have people that it didn't work for them for whatever reason, and then some people like myself, it really, really worked. So it really helps me to stay in that zone of genius, because I can be like, right, this is what I'm doing. So it's actually really nice to sit down and think, I haven't done this for a month, which was really nice. That makes me feel quite excited to sit down and do it, because I love doing these podcast episodes. So I really appreciate you listening to this right now as well. But sometimes when we do a lot of things on repeat, sometimes it can get a little bit too repetitive. So, or we feel there's that push, like I need to have this done by Friday, and we can feel that every single week. Whereas if I know I've sat down and I've done a few in one go, it means they're all ready to go. So when I am feeling, say, tired, like I am today, ironically, yes, I know I am recording the podcast, but I've been doing a little bit of trial and error with regards to sleep and sleep hacks. So this actually feels like really divine timing to dive into this, because it's just honoring that. But yeah, ironically, if it was the case of I was just too tired to, for example, to do anything, and I'm like, actually, I don't have to do that because I've already batched it and I've got things put into place. So it's really interesting to look at these different tips and tools and hacks that you can do. And I want to go into some sleep hacks. So you might be thinking, well, if you're sitting here and you're telling me that you're tired, why should I listen to you with these sleep hacks? Well, because I've been having a little play with some different sleep hacks, I've actually noticed, ironically, whilst I was doing this particular one that I have shared a little bit about on my social media stories. If you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen it on there. That's I'm at I am Rachael_UK. Make sure you're spelling Rachel properly. Otherwise, you won't be following me. But I was actually monitoring it for the last nearly 2 weeks. I've been doing the sleep hack, and I was like, I'm not really sure if I can feel the difference until I stopped it. And I haven't done this sleep hack for 2 days. And yesterday I just was constantly yawning, so I was feeling tired. And then today I can really feel it. I know when I'm tired, like my eyes feel tired as though I've been looking at a computer screen for too long. But I've just woken up, for example. And I haven't just woken up as I'm doing this, but I could feel it as I woke up. It's almost like my eyes needed more rest. So it was really interesting with how this particular sleep hack has actually improved my sleep, but I didn't notice it until I stopped it. So it's something that you probably would be aware of, because I was chatting to my husband about this and he assumed, like, he finished my sentence, so he assumed what I was talking about. I was like, it's not quite that. But I'm going to go into this one as one of the last ones. But I want to really highlight that my initial hack, my top hack for really improving your sleep, is to make it a routine. Really make sure that your sleep is a routine. So I've already mentioned a couple of things. Make sure that's part of your routine. It's little things you do either in the morning or in the evening or throughout your day that's preparing you for better sleep. So make sure you're staying hydrated. Really good thing to do. Make sure that you get natural light as much as possible, because that actually tells your body when it's time to sleep. And there's a little hack that I'm going to be putting in here as well that is linked to that one. So I'll be diving into that in a little bit. But I'd love to know, like, do you have a routine at all with going to bed, getting up in the morning? Or is it just rushing out of bed at the speed of light because I've left it as late as possible because I really want that light in? Or are you trying to get all the things in the evening to feel like you've done everything before you're going to bed? And then that's a key thing that I want to highlight as well, which I will do later on in this episode. And setting up that routine can be really simple. Sometimes we look at things and we overcomplicate it, but actually having a routine, winding down before bed, when you're getting up in the morning, it doesn't have to be long, it doesn't have to be drawn out. It can be really simple, but something really, really nice to do is, like, I find for me anyway, to give you this as an idea, and really explore and play around with what works for you. But rather than trying to get all the things done, because not everything has to get done. Sometimes it actually serves you best for things just to get left. Is it really important? Like, does everything on your to-do list realistically need doing before you can go to bed? And I know there will be some people on here that, depending on that, type A personality, or if you've got some sort of like ADHD, then yeah, you might resonate with this in a slightly different way. But notice how much this is then having that impact on you. Like, do you get anxiety because things aren't done? And then it'd be looking into, when I coach people around this, it's looking into how we can get that done before you're going into that bedtime wind down. So everything is done that needs doing, or looking into things like delegating, or just ditching things completely, because realistically they don't need doing. It's an expectation that you put on yourself. So look at different ways that you can work with a routine. So a routine for me would be that last hour before I go to bed, like winding down. So I'm not on my phone, doing something like drinking a chamomile tea. I like to do like a foot soak and read a book, making sure the lights are sort of dimmed and low, because when you're sitting there with bright lights on, your body doesn't realize it's getting dark, so it actually takes longer for you to get to sleep. So this is something that I go into in the Vibrant Wellbeing Method, my 90-day coaching program, and I go into very specifically with my clients. So if this is something that you are struggling with, that may be a really good thing for you to do. So have a look in the show notes. I have got the link to book a call with me. It's just 15 minutes. It's completely free, and we can just work through a strategy for you, and then see whether that's the next step to work together, so we can really hone in and create that routine for you. Something else that I've been doing for improving my sleep is to actually wear an eye mask, because I really do find I get disturbed when light goes off. So we've got a security light out at the front of our property, and we have wildlife that goes past, and it just pings the light on at the most annoying time. And even with the best type of curtains or blinds that you can have, it can still like leak through. So adding in a sleep mask, like an eye mask, was really essential for me, and that really helped. And I really noticed the difference when I go somewhere else. and there's obviously different lighting, and I'm like, I'm so glad that I've got that, because I can just almost shut the world out, and that really, really made a difference. So if you find you get irritated by lights coming on, that can be a really good thing to use, a really nice eye mask, and just, yeah, really see how it can make a difference for you and improve your sleep. So that really, really does help me. The one I've been having a hack with is, like, having a little trial and error with the last sort of almost 2 weeks, is working with a device that opens up your nasal, like, passages. So it's open up your airways. So it was recommended by a biological dentist, and this was a particular device. It's not the nose strips that go across the nose, although that is now what I've purchased to try those out, because I'd bought something where it's a device that looks really weird. You actually push it just the inside of your nasal passages, and it pushes the nostrils open. And it worked really, really well. The difference I could feel in how much better I could breathe was phenomenal. But for me, it was just really uncomfortable. So I was like, right, I'm going to have a little play around with the nasal strips. So it pulls the nasal passages open from the outside. So I'm actually really excited to see how that feels when I wake up tomorrow, because the last 2 nights I haven't used the device. One, because it was starting to get uncomfortable, and two, it was a device that you have to replace every 10 days. So I was like, well, I'll trial it for 10 days and then I'll see how I get on afterwards without using anything, and see if it makes a difference. And ironically, I noticed the difference once I was not using it any longer. So it definitely has made a difference for me. And yeah, so that's something that's really interesting. So this would be something, again, that I would go into with clients to find out what would work for you. And yeah, make sure that, obviously as a yoga teacher, I know the importance of the breath, but I was really blown away by just how much it made a difference to being able to breathe fully during the night. And because I was able to do that, I noticed I wasn't breathing through my mouth. Like, I can notice that difference if you do breathe through the mouth, or if you're a snorer and you wake up and your mouth feels dry, all these different things where you can really tell. And yeah, I woke up this morning and I was like, oh yeah, I've been breathing through my mouth and it feels really horrible. So it's really interesting how, by improving the amount of oxygen that you're intaking while you're sleeping, can really improve your sleep, and then improve how your energy feels for the rest of the day. So having a routine, doing little extra things like wearing an eye mask and open those airways is huge. And then another thing that I was saying about with your routine is, do you wear sunglasses? This would be one of my top hacks for improving your sleep, would be to decrease or completely eliminate wearing sunglasses. Pause for dramatic effect. So sunglasses actually really hinder the light, obviously, coming in through your eyes. So it can really impact multiple levels of your health, one of them being sleep. If you wear sunglasses a lot, your body's confused, because when you're outside, your body believes it's inside. So it's actually, or whether it's dark, it's dark, we're not getting that natural light which we need. And then if we're inside and we're only getting fluorescent light, where our body clock, our circadian rhythm is being completely thrown off. So if you wear sunglasses a lot, try to reduce when you wear them. Now, the only times I wear them now is like if I'm driving and there's glare, or if I'm by the water or on the water, and there's again glare coming off of the water. So obviously they work for that. That's a really good thing. And everything's here for a reason, but it's having that balance, finding that balance of how you use things and when you use things. So yeah, if you're a sunglass wearer, if you love wearing your sunglasses, then yeah, try to reduce and see how much that makes a difference with your sleep. And then my last top hack, and then I'm going to give one little bonus one as well, is make your bedroom a sanctuary. Make it somewhere that you really do enjoy going to sleep. So make sure the room is cool, make sure your mattress is comfy, make sure that your, what you have, the material, like if you use linen, or I use like bamboo, silk pillowcases, it really makes a difference to making sure that your bedroom feels comfortable, and there's not too much in it, it's not overwhelming. We make sure we don't have a TV in our bedroom, because again, it's another distraction. It's literally for sleep and for time with my partner. It is just that, it's that and nothing else sort of thing. And it really makes a big difference with it feeling really, really relaxing. So have a routine, wear an eye mask, open your airways, breathe properly, breathe fully and deeply. Don't wear sunglasses, or don't wear them as much as you normally do if you wear sunglasses a lot. Really make your bedroom a sanctuary. And again, there's lots of different ways that you can go into doing this. It can be really different for everybody. And then the key thing is, like, one mindset bonus point around here is make sure your sleep is a priority. Make sure your sleep is a priority. And this is something I've learned as I've got older. And, I can remember being in my teens and early 20s, even probably a little bit in my 30s, to be fair, thinking that sleep couldn't wait. I didn't need to sleep. I can push through and really focus on enjoying my life. But, if I was staying up way too late, realistically, it just ate out of the day the following day. So I was missing out. I wasn't actually gaining anything from it, because I was missing out on the day the following day, because I was sleeping in, lying in. And sleeping in, lying in does not really do you any favors. You're better off having a nap than sleeping in or lying in. But do really prioritize your sleep. And that's what I was saying, with your routine. If things need doing, that the top of your to-do list, the top of your priorities should be your sleep. Things can wait. If they haven't been done already, then there's looking at better time management. Again, something I love to do with people as a coach. So improving your time management so you can prioritize your sleep and get things done. There is a better way to do things. And we can dive into that when we go one-on-one in our coaching. So not only do you get everything done, but you can get sleep. But it's also prioritizing your sleep as well. So, there can be seasons where we have to get up a little bit earlier, or maybe go to bed a little bit later. But to be fair, the more I have prioritized my sleep, the better it's made me feel. And I really noticed that, like, hungover feeling if I've pushed through. So yeah, there are times when, because the time zones, that one of my mentors is in Vancouver, and he does a live coaching call every 2 weeks, but it starts at 11 p.m. my time. And there was a time when I would push through, and he can talk for like about 2+ hours. That'd be 1 a.m., gone 1 a.m. by the time I would be then logging off and going to bed. And I actually got to the point where I was like, I'm not getting the most from this. I'm not awake. I'm not fully present. It's better for me to prioritize my sleep and watch this at a time when I can be fully present in myself. So it's making sure your sleep is a priority. Yes, there are going to be things that need doing. Yes, there are things that we could be missing out on. But how much is pushing to get all that other stuff done over prioritizing your sleep? How much is that impacting you the following day, or even the following few days? Because sleep is a foundational key for how you feel. If you're choosing to not prioritize your sleep, you are choosing how you're going to be feeling in 3 days' time. Because the more you reduce how much you're sleeping, the more that you're pushing it aside for trying to get everything else done, the more it's going to really be impacting your energy levels, your focus, your productivity, even your enjoyment with others. And if you're noticing that you're snapping, or if people around you are telling you you're not as fun, you're not as nice to hang around with, you're a bit moody, it could be something as simple as prioritize your sleep, and you'll feel the world of difference. So I'm excited to have a go with these nasal strips and see how much better I feel tomorrow morning. And I would love to know, do you prioritize your sleep? What's been your big takeaway from this episode? What do you already try? What's a sleep hack that really works well for you? So get in touch. The best way to get in touch with me is through Instagram, but I have also got my email at the bottom of the show notes. So do get in touch. And if you're interested in improving your sleep, in creating a routine, prioritizing your sleep, working with time management so you can prioritize your sleep, get in touch and let's work together. This is something that we go into in my 90-day signature coaching program, so we really can hone in and focus on creating that happier and healthier work-life balance. So book a free call, like it's completely free. There's no obligation to do anything further. We can have a chat where you're at, see if we can create a little strategy for you to take away and implement, and then go from there. So all of that's in the show notes. I'd love to hear from you, and I will be back with you next week.